Hey, well, welcome back to another episode of whatever we're going to call this, the vlog. I don't know. We still haven't decided on a name yet, but I think it's just going to stay as a vlog. I'm Ad Sloan, Cloud Cartel UK, and with me is my very special guest, the Blue Buddha. How's it going, mate?
Very good, very good. Thank you for having me. For those of you
Always
who
a
might
pleasure.
not know, Tribal Buddha is my normal handle. Blue Buddha Vape is my e-liquid line. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much it about me. I'm just nobody
Well,
special. I'm just a regular bloke, as you would say.
well, this is going to be a very, very, very special episode. We're going to die. I know we said Zenin with Blue Buddha, so we're going to have a nice conversation about the history of mechanical devices with the man that's been vaping mechanical devices for longer than I've been vaping, and then some. How many years has it been?
15 September 15th this year. It'll be 15. First
Bloody
first one was a V2 Sigalike in 2007. And I used that V2 for almost 4 years until Altria bought that company out and decided to totally get rid of the line completely because they wanted to dominate the Chinese market. And that's when a buddy of mine had opened a vape shop, and I started getting into the other types of devices. I was on an Ego spinner, Vision spinner, Ego, for like 4 years. About 2012, I got my first mechanical mod. Now, that mod really wasn't made for the RDAs you have today. This mod, this tube, literally has an Ego connection for a clear miser or for a Kangaroo Pro tank. So it just screws down into it. The taper is there so that the tank looks nice and symmetrical going up. You put an 18650 battery in this thing with a 1.8 ohm coil with silica wick, and it would last you 3 days. You just had to keep refilling it. But that was true
Bloody hell.
mouth to lung back then, and that was a mechanical mouth to lung. So that was the beginning for the mechs for me. It was like the end of 2012.
Bloody hell.
From there, it slowly progressed on. I think 20 end of beginning of 2014, I got one called the Victoria Bamboo. It's a solid copper. This one was made more for RDAs. This is a very old one. This is the single coil. This one's made by Armageddon Manufacturing, who unfortunately doesn't exist anymore. They went out of business last year. But this is their Zion, and it's a little 22 millimeter single 18650. Solid contact, the copper, everything's copper contacts. Everything. So keep it clean. It'll last you forever as long as you don't break a pin or something,
Yeah.
you know. So at that point, you started seeing the tubes that were going for the RDAs that were starting to be produced. I didn't want to make this an RDA thing, but I have some old RDAs that if you saw the decks on it, you would be like, what the fuck were they thinking? How can you build that thing? I mean, literally, it's a big, deep tube. It's like holds like 3 mils of juice in it.
Bloody
The
hell.
top has four screws with a center pin. The center pin is your hot pin. The four screws on the outside are the neutral. And he had like this much room to build coils to stick in there. And then you drop the wicks down into that deep well. It was insane.
Bloody hell. I was just trying to think how you'd build on that.
Believe me, back in the day, I'd have, 20, 22, 24 gauge, which was way too thick. Then you're down at like 26 gauge canfall, trying to wrap small enough coil at like 2 millimeter. You're still getting like a 1.2 ohm coil by the time you're done. So it's still almost mouth to lung.
Bloody hell.
So, but
Shit, and I
24,
struggle with a 20 with like the OG recall for that being a bit too tight, but that just sounds impossible.
Yeah, 2015, everything took off. You started
Bloody
getting these
hell.
fancy RDAs. You started getting tubes to match them. Not only do I do tube mechs, but a 2014 favorite of mine. It's a parallel box, the tugboat,
Oh yeah, I've
Tug
heard
Life
heard of the
tugboat.
tugboat. Yeah.
Parallel, both batteries point upwards. So for those who don't use mechs, a parallel one is a lot safer if you ever decide to get into it to start, because with it pulling equal amount from each battery, you're drawing less amperage off of each battery. So you can build lower and be safer,
Yeah.
because you're only going to get 4.2 volts out of it. Period. End of story. And less as you wear your batteries down. But it splits the amperage. So if you've
Yeah.
got a 30 amp build on there and you've got two 20 amp batteries, you're only pulling 15 amps from each battery at a time.
Yeah.
So therefore, you don't ever have to worry about exceeding your battery's limits. And if people try to tell you that a parallel box don't hit hard, then they don't know what they're doing. Because this is the Voorhees
Yeah. It's the 3D printed.
21700 parallel. And this thing I can build down to like a 0.09 with
Yeah.
21700 batteries and be safe. And it hits like a truck.
Yeah.
Because because you vape series mechs,
Yeah.
8.4 volts in one shot, that's beastly.
Yeah.
If you're not ready for something like that, you damn well could burn your mouth,
Yeah.
because you're
Especially if you
not ready
overdrip
for
as
that
well.
vapor. I
It's not
mean,
good first thing in the morning.
nah. And this is a series mech. This is 8.4 volts, two 18650s. As soon as you touch the button, it's a beast. That's not even a second holding it. So try vaping that for 4 or 5 second draw. It's not going to happen
Nah.
until the batteries are down at like 3.7. And then it's not too bad.
Yeah.
But
Bloody
it just, like everything in vaping, that 2015 really turned everything upside down. The
Yeah.
market off. Everything went every which direction. By 2017, you had the 2700 batteries coming out, and then you started to see the mechs like the Pulse, the Pulse OG Squonk, 2700
Oh
battery.
yeah.
Solid mech. Squonk also. I mean, Tony B has tried to be ahead of the curve constantly. Billet Box is good and everything, but you're going to see the Boro market go skyrocket now that people can afford one.
Yeah. And that's
That
why I
was the
really
same
like them.
problem. That was the same problem with mechs back in 2013, 2014. You had guys who were making them, but they were 250, 300 bucks for this solid piece of copper, solid piece of naval brass. I have one that was on the cheaper end. That's aluminum.
Yeah.
It's from OG Republic. That company lasted about 2 years before they went out of business. And while the price is up there, until China got involved in like late 2014 and started doing their own, let's reduce how much we really need to put into this. They took some shortcuts with some. You'd see, instead of solid copper everywhere, you'd have a silver plated pin with a Delrin piece before it went to the 510. So removing some of those materials and switching with Delrin, made them a little more cost effective. So when
Yeah.
people were able to buy a tube mod for $60, $50 instead of $250, then that market started to take off too. Because once it's affordable to everybody, people get involved. You get collectors who can justify to themselves putting out that kind of money. You've got people who work in the industry who get to write it off. Reviewers, They can spend
Yeah.
$500 on a mod and write it off if this is what their business is. But they're making their living by reviewing and doing all that stuff and being on YouTube, and that's how their income is. They can write this shit off. Well, the average Joe like me, I got a wife and kids. They're more important. I love my vape. I do collect, but I know when to draw the line because there's things that are more important than my vape gear.
Yeah,
So,
and some of them get stupidly expensive. Like,
yeah,
see, that's what I don't like. I like looking at like Birdman's. Is it Adrian Oxide? They always have really top quality mechs. You're like, oh, I like that. So you go and have a Google. You're like, nah, sorry, I can't afford that. I need to eat this
them and I'm
month.
like, yeah, I can't justify $570 for a tube. I just can't. No matter how long it's going to last me, because I'm insane about keeping my mechs clean so that they function. Because I know that if the vape apocalypse ever happened, they'll still work. I don't have to worry about a chip dying. I don't have to worry about wires breaking. I don't have to worry about any of that stuff.
Yeah.
That tube, as long as it's maintained, is always going to fire. So
yeah, and that brings on a little bit to like maintenance. Like I don't know why I jumped to it. Loads of people told me to get it, so I thought, you know what, I'll get it, and I think it works perfectly. I use Cape Cod.
Yes.
The cleaning stuff. Like I bought like the industrial tin. It was like 24 quid, and it's some of the best stuff. And I like my first ever mech. I was telling you earlier was the heavy hitter.
Heavy hitter, yeah.
And what was that? 60 quid with shipping. Like I came at just the right time where you can get something that hits hard. Yeah, the button. Like I have an issue with the button, but I think that's just me because I'm just finicky little fucker. But it works perfectly. You keep it clean, no issues. Pull everything apart, clean it all, and I've had no issues with it at all. Where like you can get them for 300-400 quid, but you can get, and like Chris Doyle was saying, and Ruff McGruff, the Dreamer. It's an amazing mech, and it's so cheap.
Yeah,
it's not breaking the bank.
I've been waiting to pick up a Dreamer. It's not that it's the money because I can get one for under $100. The Dreamer's no big deal to me. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I have so many tubes that I wait till something really catches my eye.
Yeah.
Anybody who's seen anything on my Instagram, Vapors Cloud, when they first started their modular system, they came out with the XXX, the Triple X. Stellar mod. Right after that, they released the 1111. I have a buddy who worked for Vapors Cloud. I had them do me a custom one in rainbow.
Oh, nice.
And I got a rainbow OG Dead Rabbit to match it.
Ooh.
Well, I had that up until last year. Then I said, you know what? I think I'm done with rainbow. So I sent it to Ashton at Palmer's Powders. All I did was send him the mech and said, look, do me a favor. Do something Stormtrooper-esque, white and black.
Yeah. So
that's what he came up with.
Ooh.
This is the 1111. It's modular. The Reborn XX.
Yeah.
Now, the Scepter, any of those parts will fit this mod.
Oh, wow.
I could take a Scepter stack and put it on the top. I can take out this comp switch and use their comp switch. After they started that modular system, any of their modular mods can be intertwined. So, but Ashton did a wonderful job on this.
That looks amazing.
I mean, what he did with it made it look so Stormtrooper, because with the 1111, you got these little grooves. So to me, it looks something Imperial.
And Ashton's such a talented fella.
Oh, yeah.
You can just sit there for ages looking through his Instagram and looking at some of the work he does. Unbelievable.
He is a master at what he does in powder coating. My company would use him to powder coat for us, industrial.
Yeah.
But, he's 1,700 miles away from me.
Yeah.
So that's not going to work. You know, if I was near him, he 100% would be my go-to for all the powder coating stuff I do in my
Yeah.
construction job, because he's just insane with how he handles things, and he's so professional in his work. So, I mean, kudos to Ashton for being just a stand-up dude,
Yeah.
and he matches it with the quality of the work that he does.
The mix that he done for Wee Baby Seamus, I think he's still in chat, and Sewer Rug,
Yeah, and so are both of
outstanding.
them. Yeah, both of them are beautiful. The piece he
Yeah.
did for Sifu was amazing.
Oh yeah, I saw that actually when he was on across the pond with us.
Yeah,
That was really
I mean,
nice.
it's just fabulous work. And when you get somebody who can do that kind of work, and I mean, the reason I'm going on about it is because it's Max. You know,
Yeah.
tubes. This one, 18650. This is an AV timekeeper revolver. They only made it in two kinds. They made stainless steel and they made brass.
Yeah.
This one was stainless steel. I had a buddy out in California who does heat treating
Oh,
stainless steel
nice.
stuff. So this is a Goon 1.5 on top, stainless steel. I sent the whole thing to him. I said, blew it up for me. He heat treated it so that everything matches.
Ooh.
It's
Oh,
one
that
of a
looks
kind
nice.
because they didn't make colored ones. He did it up for me. That's custom done. But the same thing, he can take anything stainless steel and make it a
Yeah.
beautiful blue purple.
It's not an art form, isn't it?
Oh,
Absolute
uh,
art form.
my buddy who owns a vape shop, he owns a small liquid company called Gods of Egypt. And he went when he opened his second shop and he commissioned Broadside to
Yeah.
do up 50 naval brass admirals with Culverin RDAs. And he had his logo put on them. It's hard to see the etching, but
Oh,
it's his
okay.
Gods of Egypt logo.
Oh, nice.
It's real hard to see.
I can just about
Um,
make it up. Yeah.
yeah, it says Admiral at the bottom. This one is number 12 of 50. I did all the electrical work in his shop. I helped set up his shelves, install his TVs, all that crap for his shop. So he gave this one to me as part payment for all the work that I did for him.
That's a good part payment as well.
But, you know, these I didn't necessarily put a ton of cash out for.
Yeah.
Like, even if you wanted, and I would suggest you get it if you were into mechs and you haven't done it, the XXX Reborn by Vapors
Yeah.
Cloud is a sweet ass mech. And at 115 bucks,
You can't go wrong, really,
it's
can you?
worth it. And
Yeah.
again, you can do what you want with it. Vape it for a little while. If you get the brass, send it to Ashton. Have him powder coat it however you want it to look. And next thing you know, you've got a beautiful custom mod. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody's tied up. Oh, I want panels for my billet box, and I want a custom drip tip to match my RDA. Well, you know what? Mech mods, you got a hell of a lot more options to customize.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can pick whatever RDA you love. You can pick whatever mod you love. Pick whatever design you love if you have the right people who can do the work for you.
Yeah.
And voila, you've got a beautiful piece of artwork that's original to you. It cost a couple bucks, but in the long run, it's an
Well, it's going to
investment.
last as well. It's not like
Yeah, you
getting
don't have to
a
worry about it shorting. You don't have to worry about a chip getting wet and burning out. You don't have to worry about not reading your resistance right because there's condensation in it. Just have to take care of it. But that's the thing with Macs.
yeah.
Don't get a Mac if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You
It's
have to
like
know Ohm's law.
you can drop
Have
250
to.
on a or a 150 on an Odin 250C
Yeah.
and get that powder coated. You drop it, a bit of liquid gets in there, or you shorts out, you're fucked. But with a mech, you look after it, you pay that extra money, and it pays itself in the long run.
Yeah. Yeah. And the last one I'm going to show you in this is my Armageddon, my Immortal mods, hence my t-shirt. One of my favorite mech companies. I own 3 Lycans. I had an aluminum one. I traded it to Gordo because he didn't like the one he bought color-wise. I'm just going to send it to Ashton and have it redone. I have a solid copper one with a resin body that I have copper Apocalypse on. And then there's my stack. This one, Sidefire, Immortal Mods Lycan, 21-700 stack, 30 millimeter Redemption RDA. This thing is a beast. It's an absolute beast. This is when you're going high end.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to buy a Purge, you're going to buy, a Kennedy Vindicator. This is the same level. But series stacks like that, you better know how to build, or get somebody like you who can build a series coil, and you know what a series coil needs to be, because you don't want to draw 40 amps off of that at 8 volts, because you're going to blow something
The other
up.
good guide to go to
got a pipe bomb.
Mystic Coils, because Mystic Coils is obviously Birdman's builder, and he will build you spec for how you like to vape. So he's another one to go to. So hit Mystic Coils as well. Hip Hop Juice, hello mate. Yeah, bad day, but good week in the. I'll be good. It's all good in the hood down here. Oh, before we go any further, what are you vaping on? We forgot to do that at the beginning.
Yeah, well, my 3 desks ones. I have, this is a series mech. This is custom done by Jake Scrapwood Mods. My favorite band, the Misfits. If I had a black light here, you'd see that part of it glows under UV light.
Oh, the ones that he done the glows.
Yeah.
Grim Army. I got the Grim Army on it as well.
Because I'm, part of the Grim Army. Apocalypse, 25 on top. This is series, so I have a 0.33 coil in here. Hits like a beast. That has my root beer concoction I've been working on. It's first try at it. I overdid the little bit of cola that I added to it, so it tastes more like a cola flavored root beer. It's not what I was going for. So
it still probably tastes good though.
It tastes good. I can vape it, but it's not what I was shooting for. My Voorhees, 21-700 parallel with the Fat Rabbit RTA on top. And I'm not a regular RTA vapor. The only reason I bought the Fat Rabbit was so that I can test liquids in it. And the reason I did that is because I sent a tester to Jay. Clown. And he had tried one of the juices in an RDA and was like, He went and put it in an RTA, and he's like, this stuff's stellar in an RTA. I was like, okay, well, I need to test my juices now in both to make sure. So this one has a mix that I did on Mixing It Up a couple weeks ago. I called it a springtime breakfast tea. It's a black tea with rose, violet, and some other flavors in it. And I know people start thinking those are flowers. Yes, they are. But when they're distilled properly, they don't taste like flowers. You actually get sweetness out of it. You might get a little bit of a floral note, but not that sickening note that you get off of mead juice that's just not done right. Which I've had them. The minute you vape it, it's like, I'm vaping, lavender dish soap.
Yeah. Well, I think we've all had liquids like that.
Yeah, it's somebody's put too much of a concentrate in it, and it's just gone floral.
Yeah, it just blows the whole flavor out of the water.
Use sparingly. The 3 I like to use the most are rose, hibiscus, and violet. Violet's got hibiscus. Hibiscus works really well with lemon, with honey. I use the violet in darker fruits, so with like blackberry and blueberry and raspberry and strawberry. It sweetens it. you don't go overboard. You do get that floral note. So I like to use it lightly. That when I'm trying in an RTA, I loved it when I made it on the show and I was dripping it. So now I've been testing it in the RTA just to make sure it's where I'd like it to be, because I don't want somebody to get it and be like, oh, I love this dripping, but they get stuck and they have to put it in RTA to go out or something because they like the juice. I'm like, oh, this is terrible. This is worthless, but I don't want that. I want to find happy medium.
Yeah.
And then my newest acquisition was I ordered from Tree of Life. I've been eyeing your series forever now.
Yeah.
And I finally decided to pull the trigger. And when I messaged him, I was like, look, can you do a PWM? He's like, yeah, we still do them. I was like, because I don't see them on the website. He's like, nah, I can do one up for you. So my Blue Buddha tinctures, my juice brand, White Splatter, PMW, 21700. Just a beautiful vape. I love this thing. I absolutely love it. It's a great box. It works
for the price.
Just how I wanted
It's
it to.
fucking outstanding.
You figure it came to 70 quid. So for me, with shipping, it was like 113 USD.
Yeah.
Which 21700 PMW custom done. Give me 5 more.
Yeah. Well, because when I saw him, I was like, it's a bit too cheap for what it is, and I was like, do you know what? Fuck it. I had loads of people tell me Jackson, the guy that I used to do weekend bullshit with, had one. He was the one who showed it to me originally, and then I was just relooking. I was like, fuck it, I'm pulling the trigger, and was like, just do it. Mate, I love it. Absolutely love.
I have funny enough, I have this exact box. I made a mech back in 2015.
Yeah.
What I did, I didn't have a PMW. I actually cut a voltmeter in it.
Yeah.
I cut a switch in like they did, a big rocker switch. Same box, same aluminum Hammond box that I made one out of years and years and years ago. That was only 18650. He managed to fit 21700s in this thing, and it's all. And I'm not even running it as 21700s. Oh yes, I am. I'm sorry. I can fit 2700s in it too. So
bloody hell,
they reach too. So you just have to build a little higher for the 2700s. But this is another Apocalypse. It's one of my favorite RDAs. There's a lot of people out there who hate them because of the airflow.
Yeah.
I'm not an airflow snob.
Yeah.
If it doesn't whistle too bad, I don't care.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, we had to take our RDAs that had these little holes and drill them out to get airflow. I don't know if it's still sitting on my desk. It's not. Yes, it is. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but this thing has a tiny little dot. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the airflow. That tiny little dot, one on each side.
Nah, that's not it.
2014 was this RDA. You had to drill these things out to get decent airflow.
Yeah. So a little whistle don't bother you at all.
Yeah, a little whistle doesn't bug me any. I just never cared about airflow as long as it's smooth. If it's real turbulent, then I have a problem with it. I'm not big on the turbulent, but whistle, you can minimize that. Plus, I other than my series mech, I'm not one who really vapes over like 3.7 volts.
Yeah.
I was never a big, oh, I like it hot. I don't want to, it gets you a lot of juice. It gets a nice mouthfeel and saturation. Get a lot of flavor. I just don't want my vape that hot.
Yeah.
So for me, it's never been a big deal because I don't vape that high that I need that ton of airflow. Most of my airflows are cut down almost halfway because I don't need it wide open to air it out.
Yeah, so, I think I cut down quite a lot of mine.
I was telling you earlier, this is cherry plum brandy.
It does sound good.
A little bit of ginger in it, so there's a little tiny kick from the ginger. because I wanted to do it as like a ginger brandy. Enough brandy that you taste that brandy flavor, not enough that it feels like it's alcohol, that it feels like it's really a booze drink. Because I like booze drinks, but I don't want to taste it as a booze drink. I don't want that heavy note in the back. I want to just taste the flavor of it. This one's good. I'm liking it. I have a few things I want to test with it to mix it up, but overall, it's a pretty decent juice. It's another one I can vape. Like I told you, I mixed this. I dripped it for like 10 minutes and was like, yeah, you know what? Let me build a 60 and 12 because I'm going to put it in my MTL for work. So it's one of the flavors I vape every day. And then the other one is which I don't think I sent to you, was Blue Buddha.
Yeah, no, I didn't get that one.
My signature juice.
Yeah.
It's literally my take on the Schwartz e-liquid, the downside. It's blueberry yogurt.
Ooh.
But the base I used for it with the different yogurts I used, and Mike K can vouch for it because he just got some. You get the mouthfeel of like you ate yogurt on the
it's always
So you've got that like, wow, that's creamy.
I love stuff like that.
It's like yogurt.
Yeah.
So I that's what I was shooting for. That's what I got out of it. I'm glad it was successful. I'm glad there's other people out there who like it.
Yeah.
But I mix for me.
Yeah.
You know, there are people out there who aren't going to have my taste. So, you know, it is what it is. But like
Vaping Wolf is saying series
subjective.
aliens, noisy cricket, hot lips.
Yeah, see, I'm only going to make one comment about this because I've lived the experience. There are two mods I will never own from back in the day. One is the Noisy Cricket. The other is the Cherry Bomb. I have 3 friends of mine who just almost blew up their hands with that Noisy Cricket. Serious injuries. Because when they first released that thing, they released it so quickly, they didn't test it. To the point where within 3 months, they had to come out with a secondary contact system so you could replace the contacts in it because they were having so many of them blow up.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
Yeah, that's not.
Especially on a Mac.
You can't get those contacts anymore. So if you're buying it secondhand from somebody who has had it for a while and you don't know if they have the new contacts in it or not, it's potentially a time bomb.
Yeah.
I don't like that mech. I don't like the Cherry Bomb. I mean, the Cherry Bomb had worse problems than that one did. They had fixed it once they got that secondary market contact system out there and they could change the contacts out. But there's a serious problem with those contacts. And literally, it would drain one battery completely dry, and the other one would be like it was barely used. And that would cause a battery to vent. Yeah, it's
vent batteries aren't good. I had a vented battery. Oh,
that
was fucking scary moment.
If it goes thermal and it goes thermal runaway, that's when it explodes.
Yeah, that must be mine exploded out in the front garden.
Yeah, there's two different stages. So,
yeah, what I did, I pushed a battery in a billet box, and as I pushed it in, it ripped the casing. Not just the fleecing, it took off the insulator at the top, and then got stuck. And then it started hissing. Then I had to smoke, and I'm running around like a headless fucking chicken. Opened the front door, and my missus left the chain on it, so I couldn't get a chain. So I literally just threw it out the little garage, the little hole in the door, and it went boom. I thought I was going to have the fucking bomb squad turn up at my house, but luckily.
Yeah, that hissing sound is the vent. If you're able to get the batteries out while it's hissing, they won't go thermal. If you don't get them out, that boom was the thermal runaway.
It was
and that's when
fucking
they explode.
Shit scary. But the thing is, when it hissed, I was like, what's that? And I was like, oh, shit. And I couldn't get it out because then it just got really hot and then the smoke come. And I had a pregnant wife sitting on the sofa, literally just sitting there behind. I'm doing it sitting there. I was like, oh. The back door's locked. The key's not in the door, so I'm literally running around now. Luckily, I got it out in time, and it was the one time I didn't check my batteries before I put them in a device.
Yeah.
The one and only time I didn't check. And the mental thing was, it happened literally 5 or 6 days after Nick had his back.
right on the stream. Yeah.
Yeah, it literally was like 4 or 5 days after that. And I'd done it, and I told Jay, and it was like, oh, Nick done that a couple of days ago. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. I wasn't trying to copy you, mate. That's the most dangerous thing to do. But no, yeah, you gotta be so careful. I've got battery rats coming out my ear holes.
Nick's was the same thing. It was, oh, this isn't how I want it, so throw caution to the wind. What do I care? I'm fine. And lo and behold, you weren't, because it was missing a peak insulator. So, yeah, that's the only problem with the tubes.
Yeah.
Because if it starts to vent, it gets hot. There's no way to unscrew your RDA, get the top off of it, get the battery out. Yeah. So if it happens in a tube, you toss it. Let it blow up. Because you're going to blow your hand up if you try to unscrew it. Whereas in a box like this, you know, if they start to vent, you can pop the batteries out and done.
See, that's why I like the heavy hitter, because it's just like quarter turn and the battery comes out. I think
that's good. That's a good safety feature right there, because you could get it out of there before it went thermal.
Yeah, but it's fucking scary ass time. And the mental thing was, I always go on about battery safety, Ohm's law. And I always check my batteries before they go in, even if they start to like bunch up a little bit. Once they've been used, I change them. And the one time I didn't check it, it's got that little bit stuck. So I gave it a firm push, ripped the insulator off because of a little tiny nick that I didn't see. Well, I didn't check.
And what I do want to bring up with that is cheap batteries. Go to Mooch. Check his listings, find the most recent listing, and see what he rates the batteries. We were having a conversation earlier. Somebody asked about batteries to use. I keep hearing Molicel. I don't use Molicel in mechs.
No. I only use Molicel in regulated.
I use them in regulated mods only.
Yeah.
I do not use them in mechs. They're a great battery. I don't trust the amp range on them.
Yeah.
They're pretty good. Regulated, they're awesome. Now, I will use them in a parallel box because I don't have to worry about it. I'm only firing it 4.2 to begin with. And as long as my build doesn't pull the max amperage, I'm good. So that would be fine sticking it in parallel. I wouldn't put it in series. That's just me. Back in the day, we had the LG HG4s. We called them brownies, or HG2s. We called them the brownies. That's what we used in our mechs. I still have some of the old pinkies, which were like a 25 amp battery for an 18650. These little buggers, nice and pink.
Yeah. That's what you can still get them in the UK. That's what the majority of batteries are.
The downside is you better carry about 8 of them with you if you're going out and you're going to take a mech with you, because they're 1500 milliamp hour. They don't last.
See, I only use Samsung 30Ts in my mechs.
That's what I use.
And Molicels in my. And literally, I have one pair of Molicels, and they sit in the 250C because I only ever use it for like coils, like testing coils and that. And in all my billet boxes, they're just Molicels 18650s and that, because it's all regulated. So oh, I might as well do what I'm fucking vaping on, because I ain't done that yet. I just realised, look, I'm showing everything.
Okay, people, see you. That's the end of the show.
Yep.
It's going to take the next 20 minutes of what he's vaping.
No, not a lot. Well, I started with 2, but the pre-show chat.
It's my fault. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So just the Stormtrooper Abyss with the ether, inside that is, I have fucking no idea what that is. That is a mix. It's not my mix. I got the
that's the one where you put the two together.
yeah, it's country
The
fudge,
ice
which
cream.
is like praline ice cream and country
Yeah,
fudge.
the ice cream with the fudge. Yeah,
Just so good. So that, and we've got the old I call it the Panglish, the English Panda on the billet box. Inside this is the last of Blue Buddha's YouTube jail drink, which is the cherry lime cola. And I've been savouring this. It is stellar in the fucking bridge. Really enjoying it.
you know where I'm at. I can get you one.
And I've got the Denali Nightmare 25. Inside that is some deep fried donuts. And then we have inside that, yeah. And then we got the OG Recoil, which has got Curiosity's Bearded Lady, which is a strawberry cream bakery. And lastly, because we had Trio Mods, is the Series Trio Life with the Axial Pro Series deck. It's crackly little fucker. And inside that is Banana Man. Nice and quick. And I'm drinking water.
Yeah, that's. I drink water. Well, I drink 40 ounces of coffee in the morning. So I have a 20-ounce cup. I sit for a little bit. I get in the car to drive to work. I have another 20-ounce cup, and then I drink water all day long until after dinner. Then I'll have a hot cup of tea, and then I'll drink homebrewed black tea, iced tea, the rest of the evening.
Oh, nice.
I'm not one for juices. I'm not one for sugary drinks. I tend to stay away from that stuff. I don't use cream and sugar in my coffee or my tea. I use a little bit of honey in my tea, but no sugar.
Yeah.
So I'm not I guess the military killed my sweet tooth.
See, I used to drink a lot of sugary drinks. I was like 4 monsters a day back in the day. And I'd have one in the morning, I'd have 2 in my lunch, and I'd have 1 in the evening, and drink loads of black coffee.
Pop?
Oh, I was a teenager.
Your heart, man.
I had 1 Red Bull about 2 months ago. No, it was about a year ago, actually. I was getting heart palpitations. I was like, I can't fucking drink this no more.
Yeah,
so we barely drink Coke. Yeah, we barely drink Coke in this house. I think we've got a bottle in the fridge, and it's been there for a couple of months. So we barely we'll share a glass, and that's literally it if we're watching a film.
Oh yeah, I'll get a hankering for like a cherry Pepsi.
Yeah,
and I'll buy one on the way home from work. They're 20 ounces. I'll probably drink 8 ounces of it, and then I'll put it in the fridge for my wife because she won't drink the whole thing. I won't drink the whole thing. I don't give my kids a lot of soda. For them, soda's a treat. It's not something I want them getting hooked on and having constantly. They drink a lot of 100% fruit juice.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the thing is, Coke and stuff was meant to be a luxury anyway that you're only meant to have once in a blue moon, but it's so fucking cheap now.
Yeah,
everybody's buying it. Everybody's drinking it. But we tried making our own soft drink. You're right there.
That's called a dry hit on a series mech. That's not good. Oh,
the thing is, I will still stand by my statement. A dry hit off a mesh deck is worse than a dry hit off a series.
I've never dry hit a mesh deck, so I wouldn't know.
It was horrendous.
God, man.
Oh, Dave's a diabetic. Thanks for Pepsi. See, the drink, the fizzy drink that I do like that we can't get here, that I used to get when I see my family in Missouri, is the cherry vanilla Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Now that is a drink.
That's some good stuff.
Nice.
I like Dr. Pepper. I always have. I'm a big root beer person. So any type of decent root beer that's not overly sweetened. When I was living out west in Oklahoma, there was a brewery just north of Oklahoma City that made their own root beer, non-alcoholic. It was literally brewed at a brewery straight fountain.
Ooh.
Root beer was amazing. They did root beer, they did birch beer, and they did sarsaparilla. And sarsaparilla is one of those things that if you're not from the South and Midwest, probably never had.
Yeah.
Um,
See, root beer over here is so expensive. I got a can of A&W, the tiny ones, and it
yeah,
cost me nearly £4 because obviously import and all that shit.
yeah,
And
yeah,
when I was living in central London, whenever I go there, I love root beer and I'll drink it all day long. And I was like, fuck, they do root beer. I was like, I'm gonna get one. £4. I was like, do you know what? I'm gonna get it anyway. And it was lovely. It in my eyes, it was worth the £4 because it's been years since I've had one. So, but I wouldn't spend that amount of money anyway on it.
yeah. It's and funny enough here, they a lot of these states and stuff and cities, their politicians have decided, you know how we can milk people for money? We're going to put a sugar tax on.
Yeah, we got
So
sugar tax as well. Yeah.
they took 20-ounce bottle of root beer would cost you like $1.89. It's like three something now.
Ooh.
It's a huge tax. They've done it to everything that contains sugar. So fruit juice,
Yeah.
are getting out with a massive tax. It's insane. Um,
But the thing is, if
but
people want to drink it, they're going to spend the money. It's the same with
well, they do.
cigarettes.
They do. It's the same thing. You're right.
It's like
It was the
£14
same
a
with
pack
cigarettes.
here. People will go without food to smoke.
Yeah, that's here in my city on the East Coast. You're looking at $11 and some odd cents a pack.
Yeah.
So just imagine a carton. It's 20 packs. It's $140 for a carton of cigarettes.
Yep. And,
No,
and
thank
people,
you.
and when you was a smoker, you always budgeted into what you were spending anyway. So you go, right, I've got $300 a month for food. Just say, for instance, you still factor in that money for the cigarettes, and if it means you're not eating as much, they will go without food.
Yeah, well, that was here. When I stopped smoking, cigarettes had just hit almost $5 a pack,
Yeah.
and I turned to my wife and I said, "You know what? We're spending $179 a week between the two of us because I was 2.5 packs a day."
Yeah.
Um, I said, "This has got to stop. We can't afford to continue this." I was like, "Look, Chemo has his shop open. I'm going to go talk to Mike, and we're going to get off of this stuff." And it was literally, I didn't want to stop smoking. It was the price.
Mm.
It was the
Yeah.
amount of money I was wasting away. And I didn't realize until after I had stopped. So I got the V2. I'd ordered kits for her and I. I'd ordered some crazy ass liquid from China because they had little cartridges you could actually refill. You could buy empty ones.
Yeah.
And you could take the top off and take a syringe and drip it into the cotton that's in there and then put the cap back on and smoke it like a regular cigarette.
Bloody
So
hell.
I was doing that, and within 2 months, I couldn't believe how much better I breathed. My breath was,
Yeah.
and I was working outdoors. I was climbing scaffolding. We were building a large steel structure. So I was going up 2 stories of scaffolding constantly all day long,
Yeah.
and it was killing me because I had been smoking that much for that long. And after 2 months, I couldn't believe it. I didn't wake up in the morning coughing. I wasn't hacking brown shit out of my lungs,
Yeah.
and I felt better. I used to be chronic with strep throat and a bronchial infection every winter. Every winter, I'd get a serious bronchial infection.
Yeah.
After a year of being off cigarettes, I can't tell you when the last time I had a bronchial infection was.
It's mental.
It's insane. It's all
Yeah.
those stupid chemicals they load in that damn thing. It just makes your body sick.
Yeah.
And for the weight that I am, I'm still able to do full physical activity all day long and not get exhausted. and that's because I don't have something killing me from the inside out.
Oh, good. Yeah.
I mean, vaping was the best thing I could have ever done to make myself healthier. I mean, besides switching my diet and doing all that stupid crap, I do a physical job. I do physical labor all day long. I'm not going to go to the gym. I'm already exhausted. My body's sore from doing all that. It's stupid to go to the gym when everything I do is heavy lifting, manual labor kind of work. Being a contractor, that's what we do. I don't get to stand there and point my finger. I'm doing all kinds of work. So it was quite apparent to me that the cigarettes were what was making me so damn sick.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until after I got off of them that I realized it. But I've done my best. Now I wish I could be like Tim and like Nick and be these advocate people. I wish I could get on there and push and fight that fight. It's hard for me. I'm just not able to do it. I have too much of a temper. I probably get belligerent. So I know that's a road I can't go, but I do my best to help anybody out.
Yeah.
I keep
I understand
all the kind of stuff I vape. So if somebody's in need, they want to get off cigarettes, I'm going to set them up.
Yeah.
I'll get them started. I'll get them juice. I'll get them devices. I'll find out how much they smoke how much they used to smoke or how much they are smoking and what nicotine level I think they're going to need. And I'll work them through it. I'll spend the time. Because a lot of vape shops don't do it anymore.
No,
the guys that were in there
when
I started aren't there anymore. So you go in, if you're not buying some kit that, Vaporesso or Smoke or one of those companies has put out or disposable, you can't ask any questions because these kids who are working in shops don't know.
No.
They just don't know. And they give you information because they have selling points and they want to sell certain products. Oh, yeah, Vaporesso sponsored store. Oh, yeah, they're going to push their Vaporesso products. They're getting a kickback. But that's not going to help a person get off the cigarettes. You really need to know what their habits are. And you need to know how nicotine works.
See, I was really lucky because obviously I didn't have... I've smoked for quite a long time. So I think I was a 10-year smoker. No, it's probably more like 14 years I smoked. And I only gave up because, A, the price, and B, my doctor and my mum and dad were like, you need to stop smoking. You need to vape. So my mum bought me my first vape, which was just like a little sub-ohm tank thing. And I buggered that in 2 days because no one told me. She just gave it to me. There you go. So I screwed the pre-made coil in, and then I got a pair of pliers and proper tightened the tank down onto the mod. So literally, I fucked it. Once the coil head was gone, it was gone. And then I went back to smoking. And it wasn't until I moved to central London and I found this vape shop, and I went in there, and he spent hours with me. Try this, and it was when they had the the Gorilla squidgy drip tips, and a little wasp nano. What liquids do you like? What you into? We went through so many liquids, trying them out. It was like, right, so now we're going to work on how you smoke. How do you smoke? I was like, I just chain smoke. I basically direct lung a cigarette. It was like, right, you need a big cloudy device. So he gave me one of those big Smok TFV 16. I think it was a 12 or something, or an 8 or something like that.
Yeah, the TFV 12 probably.
When I came out of that shop, I didn't touch a cigarette afterwards. And it was on my walk home, and he was like, every day come in and see me. Just come and say hello. And I'd go in there every day, and he was like, oh, try this liquid. And you'd buy one, and he would chuck in another bottle. There you go, you might like this one as well. And then he was the one who got me onto rebuildables. He was like, now you're vaping, try rebuildables. He goes, I'll set you up with shit. We'll give you a discount so you're not spending 100, 200 pounds. I never spent more than like 80 quid in there. So then I ended up getting into that. And then he got me into building coils. And he was the one who was like, you need to build coils. You'll enjoy it. And then it was the wife that convinced me to start selling them. But I always had that backing throughout my journey once I got to a shop that was there for the right reasons.
Exactly. When I started, I mean, it was rare. I started on a Cigalike, so there was nobody to help. because they weren't even selling them. You had to order them online. You weren't walking into a store and buying them. You had to buy them on the internet. Once shops started opening up and I started moving to mech and sub-ohm, I was lucky I had a buddy who owned a shop who'd been in the vape industry since the beginning. So, he hit my first box was an IPv3. And it was the original model before the thumb sensor worked, because it used to have a thumb sensor on the top. I think it was the D. It worked. You could press the thumb sensor instead of pressing the button, and it would set it off. I still have it. It still works. But that was the very first box mod I ever got. And the first thing was, he's like, well, what have you been vaping on? I said, well, I vape an Ego Twist with a Clearmizer. He's like, what Nick juice are you using in it? I said, I'm using 18 milligram. He's like, okay. He's like, I'm going to set you up with this. He gave me a sub-tank mini, Kanger sub-tank mini. That was my first sub-ohm tank.
Bloody hell.
And he was like, I'm going to start you off on 6 milligrams of nicotine, because this is going to be completely different than what you're used to.
Yeah.
Okay. I vaped 6 milligram for, 3 years. And then I said, you know what? I think I can step down. I think I can step down. And I stepped myself down to 3. Now I haven't wanted to move off of 3, which is fine.
You found your happy place.
Nicotine's not what was killing me. It's all the extra chemicals and the tar and shit from burning something combustible. So nicotine's not the issue. So if I want to stay addicted to nicotine, you know what? It's better than being addicted to heroin. It's better than being addicted to alcohol. It's better than being addicted to gambling. I'm not killing myself, and I'm not hurting anybody else. So
exactly,
I'll stick with my 3 milligram.
Yeah, I think my first box was Wismic Jabo, the 318 650s. So I see when I hear these stories, I remember when we done the Across the Pond and Jay came on, and I call him the dinosaur because he's been vaping for ages like you as well, and has all these these old stories. And I was like, I feel really lucky that when I came into it, the technology was at a point where I had the 100 watts.
You came in after the market exploded.
Yeah, it was. I could do the 100 watts. I had the dual, the 2 cores in the pre-made cores. I was blowing big clouds of smoke, and the juice was flavorful. So I came in at in my eyes, in just the right point. Because if I came in when you guys were doing it, I'd have been like, "Oh, fuck this shit," and just carried on smoking.
Jay will tell you he's been mixing a long time, 5 or 6 years. He's been mixing, and he'll tell you back when he first started, the concentrates were crap.
Yeah.
The concentrates they have now are so much better. That's why I never got into mixing back in the day. I've been building my own coils since 2015.
Yeah.
I've never wanted to go insane with them like what you guys do on on your show, but I have tried some fairly exotic coils. Just for me, my comfort level is I can make aliens. For my palate, I don't get any flavor difference from an alien to a fused Clapton because it's the same amount of wire, just one's wiggly, one isn't.
It's just It's just a fancy Clapton, really.
It's just fancy. So I'm a huge fused Clapton person. Yeah. That's all I make anymore. It's just fused Claptons. But I do 2-core, I do 3-core, I do 4-core. I've done 6-core. I tried 10-core once. Not a fan of 10-core. It's just too damn fat for most things. Yeah. But my basic mech coil is a 2838 4-core fused Clapton nichrome. When you do a 5 wrap, it ohms in at 0.11. So perfect for a mech. My MTL coils, I'll do a 2-core simple fuse Clapton, but I'll use 30-40. Like 5 wraps, 6 wraps, you're at like a 0.6, 12 milligram juice, MTL RTA, boom.
You sorted,
done.
yeah.
You know, and I
Yeah,
get a ton of flavor from them.
See, I used to love my fuse Claptons, and I stopped using them once because it took me so long to get aliens down that once I got them down, all I wanted to use was fucking aliens after that. But I still make fuse Claptons, and I obviously, since talking to you for ages, I have dabbed back into the old fuse Clapton gauge, but I like mine are always 2640.
Yeah,
Because
see,
I prefer the way prefer the full performance of the 40 wrap as well.
now I bought some odd wire. I
Yeah.
think I have some 2737.
See you later, Dave. Good night.
But I again, I'm old school. Everything was always kind of like equal. So it was always like 2636, 20 or 2838, 3040.
Yeah.
You know, back in my cloud comp days and like 2015, 2016, I was using 22 gauge, just straight out stainless steel with like 8 wraps, and you're getting like a 0.09 coil. It's insane. But they would fire at like 100 watts on a mech. You know, you're only getting 5 puffs out of it before you're switching batteries because you're draining them like you wouldn't. But that was for cloud comps. You know, you're trying to blow as much smoke as you could.
Yeah, it's fit for purpose, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
It's not for like
you were building for what you were doing. It wasn't an everyday vape.
You're not sitting watching a film doing that.
No.
See, it's like I had these conversations with quite a few people. Is like when I'm at home, if I'm sitting here or I'm watching TV, it's always series or it'll be one of my mechs. If I'm driving, I use disposables because for my when I drive, I used to drive with mechs, but then the clouds in the car is not good. It's not good. And then if you blow it out the window, I'm always conscious about other people because I have blown it out once, and a guy on a push bike came past, and I didn't see him, and he got a whole face full of it, and I felt so bad. He turned around, called me a see you next Tuesday, and I got the middle finger, and I was like, mate, I'm really sorry, I didn't do it on purpose. So from then, I use a disposable just because you get the hit you want, you have a couple of puffs, put it back down, and you blow in a tiny little bit of smoke, and you get what you want. So
I'll tell you, I use SBSs, side-by-side mods for work. The best one I have that I found worked for me the best was the Paramore. So I've got 3 of them.
Yeah.
And I rotate them out. Now, I will tell you, I don't have it down here, but I did get the Vapefly Siegfried.
Oh, yeah.
It's partial mech. It's a tube mod, but it has a MOSFET chip in it for safety. And it only the max voltage out of it's 3.7.
Yeah.
So even with a 4.2 battery, you're not, and it's 21700. I have a 24 millimeter MTL RTA on top of it.
Yeah.
It's great for driving. It's a small tube, keep in your hand. The MTL, I'm vaping at maybe 17 watts. So I'm not blowing a ton of clouds. I'm not fogging up the car. Yeah. But I still have that mech feel because that's what I like so much is that feel
that's
in
my work
hand.
banger.
Yeah, it's the same thing, really. It's set up like an SBS.
Yeah. See, that's why I love the Denali. When I went to buy it, I thought it was fucking a lot bigger than it was. And it turned up in a
it's
box.
tiny.
Because you don't realise it literally, I don't know if any of you have seen it, it's literally a little bit bigger than a 21700 battery.
Yep.
And when you think of it that way, you're like, it makes sense. But even that, I've got really small hands. And even with this, you can hold it and you get a good grip on it. Rather than having to walk around with, say, something like this that I can just about get my hand around. And I took this to work once with me and never again. It was the worst thing ever.
I have that. I see. I went with the snowcap step, the side by
Yeah,
side, which is the same thing. It's literally this big, and it's only that wide. The battery sits in. The battery's exposed except for the carbon sleeve that they give you.
yeah.
So it just sits in the back of it, and then you got your little 22 millimeter tank,
And you
and it's this
sorted.
little compact thing, and it's a mech, so it hits nicely,
Yeah.
and it's been beautiful. And I was so happy that I was able to fix it when I broke it.
Well, I did break mine as I'm quite heavy handed. I managed to snap one of the on the buttons where it's got where the locking
Yeah,
system is. One
yeah,
side snapped off, so that's what I don't really take it out with me too much.
yeah.
I,
You
I
can't
leave it
lock
on the
it anymore.
table. No, but I can always get another button. But if I'm not using it, I just take the battery out.
Yeah, yeah. That's the easiest way to do it. That's what
Uh,
that's what I like about the step. It's open, so you just pop it right out. And you're
pull it
done.
straight out.
Yeah, you pull it straight out. No removing nothing. No open a door. You just pop. Take the carbon
Yeah,
fiber sleeve off the battery and charge it, and you're done.
that's the one reason that fucks me off about this. Getting the battery out. It's an absolute pain in the ass. I've got to do it sitting at a table and doing it because if I don't, I fucking drop something. And you drop the tank, you're knackered. You have to buy a new glass for it. If you drop the drip tip on the floor, it's rolling around the floor. So you're gonna have to go and wash that as well. And it's just so many compartments involved just for changing a battery. It pisses me off, but I love the device. So
Yes,
I sort of put up with it if that makes sense.
I didn't fall down the billet hole. Um, when Tony released the Pulse, I bought it so that I was there for it.
Yeah,
It was a novel new device. It was affordable. Um, I finally, after 2.5 months of owning two of them,
yeah.
finally built a bridge, built the vessel, and I put it in there. Um, my idea was, let me see how I can do restricted direct lung. It's never been my thing.
Yeah.
It's still not my thing. I still
Yeah.
absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
I'll empty this tank. I'll clean it out. I'll probably turn it into an MTL, see how I like it. But for me, it's bigger than my SBS setup. It's more bulky. It's not as
Mm.
comfortable. It's probably going to do what I originally meant it to be, which was just displays on the shelf and say I had them.
Yeah.
I, the billet thing is just not my speed. It
See,
just isn't.
I didn't want to jump down it, and I finally jumped down it, and it's great. I do love my billet box. I love the flavor. I love the performance of it. But I understand what you mean. It's like when you buy it, you get like 5 different pins, and just to switch the pins out,
You got to
it's
empty
a
the
ball.
tank.
It's a ball ache and a half. Well, it's
Yeah.
not just that. It's like this is an integrated tip, so you can unscrew the whole tip. Otherwise, get it out, unscrew it. Then you got to try and get it out without it leaking everywhere. You got to take it. Trying to get a bridge out of a ball rotang is a bastard and a half if it's a tight fit. And yeah, it is a ball ache. But once you get it and you find the way, you're like, oh no. See, I've had
Yeah,
the same building that for ages.
just not me.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'll turn this one into an MTL and see how I like it. Um, but form factor wise, it's still too big for me for what I use it for. So
That's the great thing about vaping. It's not good for you. It works for someone else, but there's other things you
exactly.
can have.
Yep.
It's not the only thing that you're stuck with. It's like you can have that or nothing.
Well, that's the thing. If I'm sitting at my desk like I am here with you, I like my big, old, bulky boxes.
Yeah,
I like something big in my hand that I can hit and blow a cloud off. If
yeah,
I'm out and about, I take my Max. I have I have a belt clip pouch that goes right on my side. Could slide a
yeah,
mech in it, slide a 30 ml bottle of juice in it, extra battery in a case. I can just walk off and take my mech with me, and I've got a little tube I can just slide out, hit it real quick, tuck it away. I don't usually take big boxes out. It's
mm,
either the SBSs, which sit in my lunchbox if it's not in my hand vaping. So,
yeah. It's
but
like
the
Birdman.
days of it just I don't know. This thing is it's for work. It's too much. It's too much in my hand.
Yeah, I think the fact that it's the 21-700 gives it that extra girth as well that makes it.
Yeah.
But that's the selling point of it, which is it's a bit weird. Yeah. And once you put the panels on, some of the panels are thicker than the others, so then it will make it even more wide. And then it's
Well, yeah, I went out and got custom panels right away. So
yeah,
I went out and got Lucky 13 panels because I really liked the fact that he was able to build the buttons into it. So you just press the buttons. Yeah. I don't have to take the plate off.
Yeah, see, I've got the. Mine are see-through friendly flipper ones, and on the back they've integrated the buttons into it as well.
Into the buttons, yeah. But that's a true billet.
Yeah, it's a 2018 one though, so it's getting on a bit. Still works perfectly fine. No issues with it.
It's just going to get more. It's just going to get more pricey as it gets older.
Yeah, and to be honest, I've got one little nick in the bottom. Oh, you're not even going to be able to see that little tiny nick there. That's the only thing I've got in it because it doesn't leave this table. The one time it did.
See, that's the thing. I hear that a lot. I hear people pay these $325 for a damn billet box, and then it never leaves their damn desk. They're too afraid to drop it.
Well, I got one of these. It's just a padded leather pouch billet one.
Yeah.
I ended up, the one time I did, I was vaping it like that. Just getting the airflow out. It was and then tucked it straight back away and then went back in the pocket. It's like, no, it's too much. It's too much.
It's too much thought goes into that. Way too much.
Yeah, it was when I first got it. I was like, I need to take it out with me. I want to vape it. So then I had to use the pouch. And it just looks a bit weird in the pouch. Oh, but yeah, you could even go down the sup box route. I don't know if because that's got
box.
They got better airflow. I've got one over here with my stupid drip tip.
I like stupid drip tips.
£1 off Amazon for that.
Yeah, I like that. That's awesome. I would throw that on an SBS and just mouth along on that. It'd be friggin' amazing.
Well, it was originally going to go on the Ether, on the Abyss and side by side, but I ended up chipping my tooth every time I took it to my mouth. So I decided against it and stuck it on the sup box. And then
I have two like that. Two that look almost exactly the same, except for they don't curve. They're just straight up, and they're about yay tall. So they stick up real far. They're pretty nice. I like them. They're comfortable.
It's like I like the Oleg drip tips. His ones are really nice.
Yeah, which actually, Nick talked to him yesterday.
Oh, did he?
Safe. Yeah, he's safe over in the Ukraine. So
good. That's mental. What's going on at the moment?
That's nice.
Yeah. But go on.
No, I was about to say you're about pushing your limit here, aren't you?
Oh, blimey! Didn't even realise the time. Before we start wrapping shit up, I just want to put a quick message from our sponsor, Shake and Bake Media. So sit back for this couple of second video. So that was Shake and Bake Media. He's the guy that made the intro for my show. Intro for, you're on this side, Mixing It Up. The intro for Codename Wired. Intro for Across the Pond. He's done
Anthony Ramella.
Shake and Bake Media. So go give him a follow if you want any logos, intros, outros, any of your multimedia needs. Go hit him up at Shake and Bake Media on Instagram or shakeandbakemedia.com. So we're coming to the end of the show because I forgot the time. So we would have been going for like 2 hours otherwise.
Probably.
It's time for you to shout your shit. Where can we find you? What are you up to? What are you doing?
Well, if you're in the Discords, then you'll see me in Sloan's Discord. You'll see me in Grim Green's Discord. You'll see me in the Across the Pond Discord. You'll see me in KVTV's Discord because I'm a member of all of them. Instagram, I've got two. My personal account is Tribal Buddha 138, but my juice line is Blue Buddha Vape. Um, you hit me up on there. Let me know that you caught me on YouTube or whatever, and if you're interested, I'll shoot you a menu. I'll ship anywhere. Um, Sloan knows I've shipped to the UK. Um, I'll ship anywhere in the States. I'll ship anywhere. My prices on there are what they are. If you're outside of the United States, then all I ask is you pay for half of the shipping. The other half of that shipping is included in the price of the juice, like it would be in the United States. If you're in the US, then the price of the juice includes the shipping. Um, I have varied tastes. I like to do a bunch of different stuff. My menu's kind of here, there, everywhere. If you want to take a look at it, just hit me up on one of them, and I'll shoot it over to you. I mix for me. I don't mix for anybody else. If you do have suggestions about something you'd like to see, hit me up because I'm always out to try making something new. I'm open to anything. I'm not a old mixer. I haven't been doing this for years like some of my compadres, but I base my mixing style off of my cooking, and I do a ton of cooking. Um, my family and everything called me a home chef. I spend a lot of time working with flavors and doing complex recipes, and I just moved that over to mixing. So a lot of my stuff is a little more complex than a beginner mixer would use, but that's only because I've paid attention to all the guys I watch all the time, learning from
Yeah.
everybody's shows. I mean, I sit on YouTube and watch these guys for a couple of years before I ever
Yeah.
decided to jump into mixing. So that's where you can find me. I try to get my stuff out as quickly as possible to you. Um, I set time aside each day if I have to be able to sit and mix. So just remember, it's not my job. It's just a hobby for me. I got a family. And it might take a day or so before I can mix it, depending on how my life is going. And I would just appreciate a little patience. But if you're getting something from me, I'll always be in contact with you.
Yeah.
I always do tracking numbers. I shoot out everything to you so you have that information. So if you're interested, give me a try. Hit me up on one of the platforms, and I guess that's it for me. Other than I want to thank you for having me on because it's been nice to be able to sit and actually shoot the shit with you for once and just be able to talk. I get tired of typing back and forth. It's nice to be able to just sit, look, talk, have a conversation. I always call him my brother from another mother. So.
Yeah. But you have forgot one thing. Where can we find you on YouTube?
YouTube, I'm on KVTV, mixing it up every Tuesday. It is 8 p.m. my time, Eastern time. You UK people, I'm sorry, it's the middle of the night for you.
Do what I do,
watch
catch it on the
replays. Catch the replays. What we do is we sit, and it's a lot of on the fly stuff. We'll talk like Monday morning, Monday afternoon. What are we doing this week? Oh, let's do this. Okay. 4 of us will get together. It's myself, Sifu Mustache, excellent juice maker, KVTV. Not only is he an excellent juice maker, he makes banging coils also.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to order from the UK because of the shipping, hit up Jay because Jay makes some killer coils too. I make my own coils and I order from Jay. He does all my MTL coils.
Yeah.
Because I love his coils. He does them better than I do. And Overdrip, a lot of people know Overdrip. UC Testing Grounds, some excellent juices. The guy's a great guy. They're all great. And we'll sit and, we do this kind of thing every Tuesday night. Just come, hang out, learn something about how we mix and what our tastes are and how to mix yourself if you're interested.
Cool. Well, make sure you go check out Trouble Buddha. I'm mixing it up on KVTV_online on YouTube. Make sure you put the underscore in, 'cause if you don't, it's an Indian funerals YouTube channel. So make sure you hit that underscore between KVTV and online. So yeah, for me, it's I don't know if a lot of you know, probably are aware that my Instagram is I am not able to get back on it. So I do have a new Instagram. Chris Doyle has thankfully dropped it in chat for you guys. So go give us a follow. That's Tribal Buddha's Instagram there as well. You can come join our Discord. There is only rules. Do not be a dick. We don't do racism. We don't do homophobia. We don't do any sort of bullying. We have our sergeant at arms in there, which are our moderators, which we've got one on the show now. And I will back him. If he kicks you out, don't come to me, because I will back the moderators all the time. So it's a fun place. Banter's absolutely fine. Just don't push it too far. If you're going to have a Barney, go elsewhere and do it on private messaging. Coil-wise, hit me up on cloudcartel.co.uk. There's coils on there. You can check us out on Sunday for Codename Wire with KVTV and Duchess. That's 9:30 UK time. Time Lord isn't in chat, so I can't work that one out. Stream's already up, so hit that notification bell, and when we go live on Sunday, come and join us. Apart from that, just thank you for coming on. It's great having you on the channel. Love learning a bit of history of Mexico. I know people in chat have probably learned a lot and reminiscing a lot. So thank you for coming on.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
No worries,
been
mate.
Wonderful.
Good. So we'll end that. Remember, be safe. Don't be a cunt. See you later.